In the early years of my eating disorder recovery journey, I remember sharing and opening up with a friend just about how challenging things had been for me in my body and with food. And her being so well intended and trying to encourage me and support me the best that she could, said something that really haunted me years into my motherhood. And this was before I even had kids, actually. And she knew that I wanted to become a mother and said something along the lines of, don't worry, I know it's hard right now, but just wait until you're a mom. Then that'll be all the motivation that you need. Having kids, I'm sure, will be everything that you need to get better. And that is something that really did stick with me. I thought that must be the answer. When I have kids, there will be something bigger than myself here to take care of. And surely, if I love my kids, then I should be able to do this for them, right? Like recover. And it was interesting though, because that's not exactly how things pan out. Starting with pregnancy, I remember finding out I was pregnant, which was a miracle in itself. So many providers and doctors had told me things like, you'll never be able to have children. There's too much damage to my body from my eating disorder that they thought would prevent me from ever having children. And to all of our surprise, I did get pregnant. And I thought, surely pregnancy will change my outlook about myself, about my body, and I will want to get better to take care of myself for my child. And what I didn't expect was all the different challenges that came up with pregnancy, my rapidly changing body and my appetite that made food feel so chaotic, all these different things that seem to actually activate my eating disorder and make it louder, all the while thinking this should get quieter by now. Things should be easier because I should feel more motivated to get better because of my children. And that progressed through many different seasons of motherhood. Postpartum, when I thought, surely now that I have my baby and my baby is happy and healthy, and I'm starting to feed them and I want to support them in having a healthy relationship with food, I surely should feel more motivated to get better in my recovery. Again, not anticipating or expecting all the different challenges that came up postpartum. Again, changing body, changing appetite, change in identity and in relationships, and trying to figure out who am I as a mom in addition to everything else that I thought I was. And so this idea of thinking that motherhood would be enough motivation for me to get better, that if I love my kids enough, then that should be enough for me to keep going in my recovery, to solve this, to figure this out. Surely things would just kind of fall into place when it came to how I felt about my body or how I fed myself. I just assumed that things would get easier for me the further I progressed into motherhood, thinking loving my kids should be enough. And so it really kind of turned my world upside down when I was struggling or different things came up in motherhood that challenged that assumption that I had. And I think a lot of us quietly carry this belief that because there's now something bigger than us, someone else to take care of, that everything will just kind of click into place, that we'll start eating normally, that we'll stop overthinking food or start feeling more at peace in our bodies because we care so much. We love our kids so much. We want to do it for them. We want to be healthy. We want to be a good role model for them. And so it makes sense that that's the belief and the hope that we hold on to. But then you're in it. You are in the trenches of motherhood, whether you're pregnant or postpartum or raising toddlers or school age kids or older kids, whatever season of life you might be in, you might find yourself still overthinking food, or maybe still feeling at war with your body, or pulled in different directions, or maybe finding that there is still a part of you, maybe that old eating disorder behaviors or thoughts that you thought you had managed that seem like they're being activated again. And that can feel really confusing because part of you might be like, I love my kids so much. So then why is this still so hard? And that question can carry so much weight, sometimes even shame. And I hear this all the time from moms. And these are thoughts that I had myself too. But questions like, why Are I further along by now? I thought things would be easier now that I had kids. Why is this still a struggle for me? Aren't my kids enough motivation for me to be doing better? And underneath those questions are really painful fears of, is something wrong with me? Or am I not enough? Or am I doing something to hurt my children? So, this is the part that I want to gently shift for you. What if this isn't failure? What if this is what we call reactivation? Meaning, it isn't that motherhood didn't fix this, it's that motherhood revealed this. Because motherhood doesn't just bring love, of course it does. It also brings tremendous vulnerability, responsibility, identity changes, body shifts, emotional exposure, all of these things that can activate these parts of us that at some point learned to cope through control, through our bodies, through food. And so it makes sense that this would all come up here. So it makes sense. It makes sense that you could love your kids so deeply and still feel pulled in your relationship with food. It makes sense that you can desperately want to show up differently with how you're parenting your kids and still feel like this is so hard. It all makes sense. And those things can exist together. It's not that you don't want this badly enough, it's that something deeper is being activated. And I want to say this really clearly. You do not have to be fully healed to be a good mother. You can still be in process. You're allowed to still be in process, and you can still be a loving, attuned, kind, responsive, caring parent to your child. If you are noticing this in your own life, or noticing that you still have these thoughts of, why is this still so hard? Or why am I not further along in my recovery at this stage of motherhood? I want you to know that you are not alone and there's nothing wrong with you. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be talking more about this, about what's happening beneath the surface and what support can look like for you in this season of motherhood. And in the meantime, I'd love to continue this conversation with you. If this resonated, I hope you'll continue to watch these videos on the channel. And also, please check out our free virtual support group, Lift the Shame, for moms in eating disorder recovery. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.